Hey everybody, what's up? We are back for the first time in a very long time, and the point of the video today is to go over my fool's trading strategy, understand what I do to find the stocks that I find, the success that I've had with it, using it currently, and then moving forward, how I've been adapting the strategy over time. So I'm going to split this into two parts and go through a technical side of what I do and a fundamental side of what I do. Both are very simple. That is the key to this entire strategy. But just to right off the bat show you the results of this, these are my returns so far this year. Also, my returns just all time, showing how it's been over the past couple months that I've been implementing this strategy. But if you're interested, make sure to subscribe. I'm going to be making videos like this very often. I go over my portfolio as often as I have time to. Just got off of work. So we are going to get into it today. So subscribe and let's get into the technicals first. All right, so like many great journeys, they start on a screener. So I always use FinViz. It's free. It's very simple to use. You really can't go wrong with it. It could be a little bit more intuitive, but at the end of the day, it gets the job done. So just going to put in what I normally put in for a screener. So usually I just stick to technical indicators on this, but I usually like to do stocks that are over 2 billion. Sometimes I'll go lower than that if it's a really good situation financially, things like that. But anyway, now we move on to the technicals, and all we do for this part is we look for oversold companies. So right now, with the over $2 billion and oversold RSI at 30, there are 25 companies. So normal routine is I would look through these every once in a while. A great example is right now I am trading Centene Corp, which actually has just bounced about 7 or 8% over the past 2 days. It's looking very promising. But that isn't the example we're going to use just for today. And I would look through these, find what I like, what's financially good. Right now, on the watch list is Texas Instruments, very solid, high-performing company that's kind of getting destroyed right now. So may have to look into that very soon as a trade. But anyway, that is just the first step of the technical side of this. Sometimes if I'm looking for some higher quality, more dependable, I'll go into fundamental here and I'll go into PE and I'll try to find a undervalued PE and mess around with the margins a little bit. But usually I keep it as simple as possible and I just look for oversold companies. And that's basically the first step of this. Next, we go on to TradingView here. Again, completely free. Make an account, whatever, if you want to. But the example we're going to use here is Lululemon. So we're going to zoom out and just look at Lululemon's chart over the past couple years here. So going back to 2019, you can see if we zoom out to the weekly view, get a little bit of a better picture. And this is not a perfect example, but it is a very good example of what I do. So looking for high performing stocks. Now we're going to get into the financial performance in part 2 of this video. It'll be linked in the description. Make sure to check it out. But what we're looking for is high performing stocks such as Lululemon, very solid sales growth, very good margins. And we're looking for them to be in key support areas or dropping a lot from otherwise fairly good results. Many times the market tends to oversell things, and that is where I come in and try to identify those companies and buy some shares and hopefully make some profit. So earlier this year, I bought Lululemon right around the 250, 240 range over here and swung it on this increase for right around a 40% gain. It continued dropping. I just started buying it again at the exact same price range. Now, there's a couple things to look into here. One, there is a general support trend rising with the company over time that you can see. There are higher and higher lows forming. Now, one thing you could point out is that it has just broken recent lows, but in my mind, I doubt it's going to go lower than this just based on where the financial performance has been. And it just does not look that bad from my perspective. So it is low. Again, sounds basic, but keeping it as simple as physically possible here. Now onto some indicators. So we have RSI here. We have the Impulse MACD set to 12.3. That is a fairly good setting in my mind. And what we're looking for is basically RSI. We're looking for convergences or crossovers. So right now the RSI is fairly low for Lululemon. which is pretty promising. Usually under 40 is considered oversold. So fairly good indicator there. We're also looking for a low impulse MACD right here, which we can see. And again, it sounds very basic, not really going into a ton of detail, and that's because it is. And that's basically the whole technical side of this, is just looking for things like this and trading it as simply as possible. So I'm going to go into a couple other examples of what I'm trading right now. One other is CNC. So CNC, we're getting a little bit more complicated here. And let me just get rid of the indicators to show this. So there's two zones that I'm looking for right here. Support resistance zones are very common with trading, but I like to keep it as simple as possible. So CNC right here, you could see very distantly, there is a green candle right there. It is slightly bouncing off of this support zone here where you could see multiple lows, and right above it is a lot of consolidation from the stock. On the upside, we have former lows as well, which I'm kind of targeting as a future sell range possibly. And another one is a downwards channel that we are seeing in the past. Many times when channels get broken in either direction, the stock tends to head back towards that channel. So ideally what we will see is a retracement back towards this area right here and hopefully hit the $40 range within a couple months. Now, will that happen? Again, this is a very long time frame for this particular stock, but if we zoom into, let's say, the daily time frame, we can see that it's right around the high 30s range where that sell zone starts, and that's kind of a more advanced thing that I'm looking for with this kind of a company. So another example, let's go into Snapchat. And again, all of these companies I'm going to talk about as well on the fundamental side, which is part 2. Make sure to check that out too. But anyway, Snapchat has a sell zone and a buy zone, many lows forming, many highs forming. There's also a sort of a downward moving trend that's happening with the highs that have been forming. So it's really important to pay attention to highs and lows. Again, sounds very simple, but that is because it is, and that is what we are looking for. So right now, I have an average price on Snapchat of right around $8 or $9 a share. It's up. Oh, actually, I think it is about $8 a share. And it is at $10 now. And that is because I've been watching it for a while. I saw the lows. I saw it break into this buy channel here where there is a ton of support. And if you look, even just on TradingView, you could see they've been outperforming for the most part. They're like larger metrics, which is pretty good, especially for a non-profitable growth company like Snapchat. That's not bad to see that kind of consistency and outperformance of estimates. But what we're really looking for is to dive into the financials a little bit more. And again, keeping it as simple as possible. And with that, we will go on to part 2, where we will see the fundamental side of this. And again, it sounds simple. That is because it is. Keeping it as simple as possible. The results speak for themselves. One more time, it's just easy. So anyway, thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe. See you in the next video.